Second hour of World Crisis Radio. Webster, Tarpley here in Washington now. We're going to get back to Libya in just a minute. We have huge news. The imperialist ideological front is collapsing. Anne-Marie Slaughter, one of the first to call for bloody intervention and no compromises, is now telling the Financial Times in the A-List blog, it's time to compromise to protect the people of Libya. She is reversing her front. This is an absolutely critical event, a voice from high level inside the establishment, former national security official, one of the architects of this kind of imperialist foreign policy. But now let's switch gears and look again at the illegitimacy of Obama himself, because despite our desire to get him to do something in the next couple of days, it's clear that this cannot be allowed to go on. Here we have the Washington Post, again of Friday, July 29th. On the federal page, veteran reporter Al Kamen, in the loop, points out now that Orly Tates, the unstable Los Angeles lawyer, dentist, and real estate agent, has filed a Freedom of Information Act suit in federal court against the Social Security Administration and against Commissioner Michael Astrue. She wants to find out about Obama's Social Security number, that the number that he presents is from Connecticut, not from Hawaii. How did he get it? Is it fraudulent? The problem is, this is a perfectly legitimate question, except that if you're Orly Tates, you've got to muck it up with crippling errors and make yourself look like a fool. She has not complied, according to Judge Royce C. Lambeth, Chief Judge of the U.S. District Court of the District of Columbia. She did not comply with the Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 5.2A1, which says that only the last four digits of a Social Security number should be used in any documents filed. The first five digits must be redacted. So Royce Lambeth says to Orly Tates in a reprimand, you are wasting the court's time with nonsense. This is not the way for her to have any hope of prevailing in this case. She makes the hysterical claim, says Lambeth, that there may be an employee of this court who is intentionally sabotaging her. She has engaged a courtroom deputy clerk in a lengthy accusatory conversation. Orly Tates is either toying with the court or displaying her own stupidity, says Lambeth. There is no logical explanation she can provide as to why she is now wasting the court's time. And I guess that's it in a nutshell. Perfectly legitimate thing. Trust Orly Tates to muck it up and make this look like an exercise in stupidity and incompetence. Well, we want to get the real word here from Phil Berg in Philadelphia, who started this all August 21st, 2008, almost 3 years ago. Welcome, Phil.
My pleasure. And the only thing I can say about that article you just read from the Post regarding Judge Lambert and with Orly Tates, if you can't say something nice about someone, don't say it. And I really can't say it because for the last 2.5 years, the records will show she has, and I think intentionally screwed up everything just to take the focus off of the main thing, and that is exposing Obama. The whole Social Security thing, I think, has been blown out of proportion. There's really not evidence that he's using a number that was used by someone else. The numbers are different, but be that may, I think Judge Lambert's comments have been repeated by other judges around the country regarding that person.
Well, I guess this is it's obviously interesting that the Washington Post, which is of course hostile to this issue in general, is eager to show you Orly Tates. We've even got a picture of her. There's a photo here on the page, and it's got the fake birth certificate, the new one, behind her.
But what they're doing, though, they're anxious to talk about it because, again, it puts a bad light on people that are like me who are moving in the right direction to unseat, to expose Obama. And when you put something like the Post, who's not on our position, but they repeat a story like that, the reason they're writing that story is to get other people saying, see, these people are crazy, these people don't know what they're talking about, et cetera, et cetera. And therefore, that's the only reason it's in there today. It's to knock us, not to help us. And that's the frustrating part about this, because the media has not been with us on this, and the media, it's a disgrace because we supposedly in the United States of America have a free press. There's no such free press in this country. It's controlled by 3 or 4 corporations. And this topic, if the national media had done 1/10 of what they did to Sarah Palin, to Obama, he never would have been nominated. But they decided to give him a free ride. But even the audacity of the free press, the audacity of Obama on April 27th to come forth with this new birth certificate, his copy of a birth certificate, not to investigate it. I mean, there's so many holes in there. There's more holes in there than Swiss cheese. I'm waiting for one more expert report we're going to pursue. We're trying to decide right now to pursue another case or what. We've been working on in the last year a book, and I think the book might be the way to go. We might be pushing that out by our August 21st anniversary date of 3 years since we started this.
Excellent.
But the whole thing here is it's completely frustrating that a person, a usurper in the White House, and like I told you many times, I'm the umbrella for everybody, but I hate talking about issues, but the issues are overwhelming that he is not doing what's in the best interest of this country. And a prime example is what's going on with this debt crisis now. You know, by going on the TV every day or every other day, you know, we're being made fools around the world. I mean, this issue should have been resolved a long time ago, whatever it's going to take. And the credit rating in this country is in jeopardy, and that will jeopardize every one of us. So, you know, wake up, listeners out there. You got to get this guy out of there, and the way to get him out of there is to expose him, and we can do it. It's not that hard if we would just put a little effort into it. You know, my website, ObamaCrimes.com, has more material on there than you could possibly ever use or need to find out, to give information to you and your followers, your listeners, your relatives, that Obama is not constitutionally eligible to be president. And the best example I have is that we have the original tape because it's been altered since then. We put it on our website and people change it. We have the tape from Sarah Obama, that's Obama's step-grandmother, who's still alive over in Kenya, Africa. And she states in Swahili, and we have a minister who's sitting next to her on the telephone with a minister back here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, recording all of this. And she states in Swahili that she was in the hospital when he was born, August 4th, 1961. That's pretty hard to overcome. Now, at the very end of the tape, yes, there's some young kids going, no, he was born in Hawaii. And since then, there's been a lot of alteration. People have changed the tapes, and they do whatever they can to try to alter it. We have the original tape. We have the original affidavits, which are also on our website, which states that, you know, they were there, and, you know, with the translation of this, and that to me is hardcore evidence, plus the other factors, like, you know, they had a national holiday the next day. I mean, I could go on and on, but it's on our website, ObamaCrimes.com. He has to be exposed. As we're the laughingstock of the world on this credit situation, we're laughingstock of the world because people around the world know that he's a usurper. They know he's a phony. They know he's a fraud. And, you know, if they're sitting back and taking advantage and or blackmailing him at the present time. Remember, he's now on a BlackBerry. He has to request to have a BlackBerry. And that's different because all White House communications are supposed to be logged in and kept records of. I assure you the BlackBerry is not, and that's where he's being told what to do. And I really think what happened is, you know, and it's just my theory that August 21st, 2008, when we filed the lawsuit, and I stated if I'm wrong, prove me wrong, I think the powers that be, this was before he was nominated in Denver, the powers that be said to him, listen, we know Berg is right, that you are not constitutionally eligible to be president. If you want to be president, you got to play ball our way. And I think that's what's been going on. He ran on like 10, 15 things he's going to have change. The 10 or 15 things he ran on, he has accomplished none. And he's done other things like Obamacare, which is blatantly unconstitutional. This debt crisis shouldn't be right now. He was the anti-war candidate. We're more at war now than we were ever at war with Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya.
So let me just add, he said, McCain will cut your Social Security. I, Obama, will not cut your Social Security. And now he's trying as hard as he can to do it under the cover of this idiotic debt crisis. Okay, Phil, thank you very much. We've got to run. Our time has expired for this segment. We'll be back in a minute. You keep up the fight, and we'll see you again next week.